his significant other wants to get married. He does not because, like me, he's been in a marriage that
he's
ended.
intelligent. When you're in a committed long-term relationship, the realistic outcome is marriage. That's just universal.
Right.
If that's not brought up, then it's his fault. So that's why, again, context is key.
Or there's a chance that you could change your mind as you get older, because we only get, well, certain people only get wiser and smarter and more mature as they get older, so they start realizing certain things.
The human race is divided in two distinct sexes, male and female. While the typical man is a simple creature, there exists a subgroup, the nice guy, a dying breed of chivalrous, romantic, domesticated gentlemen whose qualities are desired by the opposite sex, allegedly. However, they are dismissed and confined in such concepts as the bestie, work husband, and the dreaded friend zone. Joe, Jason, and Manny are the last of the nice guys.
Hey guys, welcome. Wait, that was terrible. That was terrible. All I saw was Manny's face. Just that was terrible. Hey everybody. Look who's back. Well, sorry, my buddy told me not to act like I wasn't here, but I'm gonna say it anyway because he's a fuck cheek boy. Well, welcome back, everybody.
Where did they go?
Well, because they missed me. I wasn't here, so it's just kind of like a.
But you're welcoming them back to you.
Yeah, to me.
I'm
welcoming them back to me because everyone was waiting for me. Welcome everybody to another great episode of The Last of the Nice Guys. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon.
I saw this intro going different in my head.
I did too.
Completely
I haven't
different
done
in
it
my
in
head.
like months, so I'm kind of like little rusty. But good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of The Last of the Nice Guys. I am Joe. With me is Manny and Jason. Manny has control of this topic tonight, as he came up with. Actually, his boy came up with it. So and he stole it. So take it away, Manny.
So, ladies and gentlemen, hi, Manny here. So tonight's topic, today, what to do or what was it? Being in a relationship and your partner does not want to be married or to get married.
Fuck. What if your partner doesn't want to
does
get
not
married?
want to get
There
married?
you go.
Yeah, something like that. Okay,
What
bada
if
bing,
your
bada
partner-
bing, bing bang, bing bang.
He kind of had it. He had it.
Yeah, somebody very close and personal to me in my heart. A questionable individual. That individual texted me on the cellular device, and he said, "Hey, this should be your next topic if you guys haven't spoken about it." And I was like, "Great idea." And I present to you.
This is why we are losing audience day by day. An absentee main host, a secondary host with impressions and voices, and you just see me on camera, just like wondering where went wrong with this studio.
I'll be there for you.
So okay, so Jesus, I'm not gonna let that. So no, okay, so tell us what was the suggestion that he came up with?
He didn't come up with a suggestion. He just asked if it'd be a great topic to discuss because he is dealing with it himself.
Okay.
his significant other wants to get married. He does not because, like me, he's been in a marriage that ended. Yes, and obviously he doesn't want to go through that as quickly as his girl wants to, and needless to say, they're no longer together because he was like, "No, I'm good. Sorry." And, yeah. So, I don't fault him for it because I myself am not an advocate for marriage, having been there myself. Especially right now, like there's no way in hell I'm gonna be like, yeah, let's get married tomorrow. No, I don't even care how long, like the relationship, like
right, but that's different. Was he previously married?
Yes,
he was.
He was married.
Okay,
yes, he was married before I went to the wedding.
Right.
And then it didn't work out.
So that's different. So you both have, for lack of a better word, a chip on your shoulders. You've had a poor experience. It's kind of like the whole "did it once, never do it again" episode we did. Watch that episode.
Yes.
So that's why you guys are feeling the way you feel. So that's
we're jaded.
You gotta give them the context before you get into it. What's the context? You guys have been
there.
We're
jaded. No, but I said that he was married and it didn't work out. I was married, it didn't work out. So that's why I don't fault him for feeling that way. I want to fault her. I understand she wants and needs out of relationships and what have you, because everybody does. But for her to just be like, I don't want to understand, or I don't want to, you're an amazing person, so let's just keep it going and maybe I can convince you at some
Stop
point.
that right there. All right,
No.
that's the follow-up question. Was he up front? Was this a conversation up front prior to her bringing up marriage? In other words, when they met somewhere in the beginning, did he make it very clear he was not interested in marriage? Was that discussed?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you personally,
right.
But if he's anything like me, I'm sure he mentioned it once or twice.
So that's different. So if it was mentioned, then a woman who chooses to then continue going on with the guy, that falls on her. If it wasn't mentioned, because typically when you're in a committed long-term relationship, the realistic outcome is marriage. That's just universal.
Right.
If that's not brought up, then it's his fault. So that's why, again, context is key. So that's why I would love to know a little more behind that. Was there a conversation? Why do I say this? I made it very clear that the way I'm dating these days, I put my expectations and what I will and will not accept, especially what I will not accept, up front. So when the time comes that they inevitably disappoint me, I can say, well, remember on the first date or the second date, I told you that this is what I was talking about. This is the reason why. So communication has become a major thing with me in dating. And it's also been the driving force for why my dating life has been a revolving door. Because I'm very upfront and there is no, I don't want to say there's no compromise, but you know what I'm expecting. And that's that.
Right.
Or what I won't tolerate. So that's the question. Carry on, Joe. I mean, you're guest hosting today. So what do you think?
Real funny. I'm pretty much in agreement. If I wasn't into like being married and the woman wanted to be married, I just think it wouldn't be my time. It's just that simple. And even if I'm really against it, I'm pretty sure as I grow older, which is what we all do naturally, I might change my mind, or there's a chance that you could change your mind as you get older, because certain people only get wiser and smarter and more mature as they get older, so they start realizing certain things. For instance, a good example is my buddy Sean from New York, which you've met, Jay, and he ironically enough, he wants to get married. He also wants to have children as well. However, his partner just isn't ready or prepared to be in that sort of situation where where they say they're both married. But he really wants to.
What can I ask a follow-up question? Yeah. What are they cohabitating?
Yes.
So then the question would be, what is the difference?
There would be no.
What would change?
There'd be no.
What would change? Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
When you start cohabitating, whatever, then you're hung up on the actual title. And so it becomes that's why I ask what's the difference then? That's the question you have to ask. We're living together, we've been together for a certain amount of time, we are a couple, we're in a committed relationship. What is the difference between saying this is my long-term partner and this is my spouse, my legal spouse? That's the question that has to be asked. That's the follow-up question that we need to know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So,
a lot of older
for me,
people feel that way too.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like for me, I've always wanted. I saw myself as a husband, with or without kids. But I always saw myself as a husband. I always thought that I deserved that. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly. But just like what you said, as you get older, you may want that. As I get older, I'm not wanting it as much. I.e., if it happens, great. Am I actively pursuing women in a specific goal to be a husband, be married, and have a wedding? Not really anymore, because unfortunately I'm becoming more and more comfortable in my own space, in my own thoughts, in my own ways. I'm getting entrenched in that. So it's true, you know. But what you said is very important, but to the individual. If I say I don't get married, but as I grow older, I might change my mind. I might change my mind. When a third party is like, okay, you don't get married, we'll still together, maybe I'll change your mind. That's the problem.
Right. Right. You gotta want to have it like before you set into anything.
Or if you take a risk. You know? Or if you take a risk.
Yeah. You gotta have the mindset of like saying, oh, I want to be married, or that's my goal, before you even step into something. Or even announce it in the beginning. Like that's pretty much how you're supposed. I mean, what mature people would do, which no one in the dating world right now is mature. So you really can't say like that's what they
watch it now. Watch it.
You know what I was thinking too? Like if you were to want to get married, Jay, you would realistically like make an
proposal. Amazing husband. I know.
No. Well, no, you won't. But you'd make the best. you'd make the best proposal, like idea.
Oh yeah.
For some reason, I feel like you'd probably like I feel like you'd bring this bitch like out of space and just like drop her down or some shit. You know?
My problem is, and this is the joke, is that my proposal would be so amazing that the wedding wouldn't be shit. Like that's how what I'm known for. The proposal would be such a level that the wedding would pale in comparison to the way I proposed to her. You know, and it's true. I've had many different examples of how I would have proposed back when I was in my 20s when I was a weeb. So yeah, I would go fucking nuts. It'd be an amazing event.
It would,
and it would involve family and friends, and it would be probably great. But again, the woman would have to earn that from me, and the likelihood of that happening is shrinking by the day. So, but no, I thank you for that. Yes, I'm romantical like that. So
she'd really have to have a nice set of fuck cheeks for you to.
Yes. I want to make it very clear. I don't edit this podcast.
He's really trying.
He's trying to make this a thing.
He's trying to make this a thing.
All right, carry on.
Okay, no. So sorry. Ever since last night, I just cannot stop hearing this word in turn over and over and over in my head. It just won't get out. I, for one, to be back on topic, I, for one, wanted to always get married.
I can see myself betting on one knees, baby. When I first saw your fuck cheeks, I knew you were the one. This is all I'm seeing now.
Dad, how do you and Mommy meet? Well, I was minding my business at a bar, and this wonderful woman stood up, and she had amazing fuck cheeks. Just amazing. I mean, the best and tremendous fuck cheeks. Like, that's mine right there. Oh my god! Because I'm gonna go fuck.
Could you imagine? Cheeks. Could you imagine? That'd be fucking hilarious. I would.
That would be like the worst How I Met Your Mother.
Oh my God!
Ever.
Can you imagine? And then telling that story at the rehearsal dinner.
Oh my God! Yeah, that would be
great.
That would be so
anyway, yeah, back on topic. I forget who was talking before I busted out laughing again. I apologize.
It was me. It was me. It was 100% me.
Sure on.
I came into my now marriage wanting to go ahead and get married from like around the same time Jason said he wanted to back when he was a weebo.
I love how he slick and slyly put in there. I came into my marriage. Our audience have no idea that you got legally married. I want to make it very clear. So I want to be very clear. Manny is a father of daughters, and Joe is married now. Just keeping you guys all. I'm still single. Carry on. So
I'm still single.
Nope, you're divorced. There's no single. You're divorced.
I'm single.
That's
single.
not
single. And
that's not what it is. When you go on legal documents, it is single, married, divorced, separated. You are now divorced. You are a divorcee. Divorcee? Divorce-ish? Yes.
So
what?
wait, so he can't label himself as a single man?
No.
Yes, I can, and I'm gonna.
No, because when you use the term single, you imply that you've never been married before. That's what it is.
I don't count that as a marriage.
You don't. It was 13 years.
We were not married for 13 years, sir. We were married for less than a year.
Less than a year? It was less than a year
yes.
or 8 years?
Yes. Less than
Okay, then can I ask you a question? You were together for how long?
How old are my kids again?
5, 6?
Before we got married, we were together for, I want to say 6 or 7 years.
Okay, so you were together for about 8, 9 years, and only the tip, just the tip of it. So this is a great example. You lasted 8 years not being married, or not 7 years not being married. You couldn't last a year married. What changed? That's the question now. See, now that will explain why Sean, who doesn't want to get married. There's a good example. You were together for 7 years. Then you got married, and it fell apart in that 1 year time span. What changed when you said, I do, allegedly?
I don't want to say anything really changed. It was more of a hopeful things would get better, because as a married couple, like, we're finally there and we should be able to do things, as a married couple, as opposed to boyfriend girlfriend. Just a boyfriend girlfriend type situation.
What does a boyfriend and girlfriend? What can a boyfriend and girlfriend not do that a married couple can do?
Exactly how I see it, but in today's viewpoint, there are certain individuals out there that are like, I'm not gonna do wife shit if I'm not your wife. I'm just your girl. You're not gonna get no wife shit out of me. Put a ring on this finger and you get that girl shit.
Where's that video that said that? That video that said that.
I sent that to you guys. It's in the chat.
There was a video that said basically that a woman wouldn't be a wife until she's married, but that the man was expected to do husband type stuff without that, and that's how he earned it, and it didn't make any sense. I gotta find that video, because that was a really good video. Is that how can you expect to be a wife if you don't prove your qualities as a wife beforehand? Because a man has to prove his qualities as a provider to get your attention, which is what? Husband material quality. It's a hypocrisy thing. But okay. But not to put your ex-wife down, but was that the case? She wouldn't be that level of a spouse without the commitment?
Let's just say that it became an issue about doing or being in the relationship, as far as long-term is concerned. Because obviously the long-term goal is to get married and do the future.
Agreed.
But unfortunately, a lot of people believe that, you can't pass a certain point in a relationship until you're there.
But it's such an arbitrary. It's like It's like, you know,
Yes, it very much is.
It's
I
an
know.
imaginary line. What I'm trying to say, and I'm not saying, oh, don't get married. What I'm saying is, what's the
I am.
what's the point? You know, so you know, is it because of insurances? Is it because of health insurance? Is it because of property? What's the
No.
reason? Because I'm telling you something right now. I would be perfectly
The title.
The title. But what does a title?
Yes.
What is it? I mean, it's superficial.
This is my
husband. No, this is my spouse. No, this is my long-term committed relationship. This is my boyfriend. The time. Yeah. Some boyfriend girlfriends last 10 years, and some marriages last a year. Why would you want, like, why is the long-term boyfriend girlfriend invalidated because it never made it to marriage? But then the marriage that fell apart after a year is more committed than the other. I don't understand that. And again, I'm not saying I would never get married.
I don't either.
I'm not saying I never get married. I'm never saying I. But if I'm gonna get married, it's because I want to do it for a particular purpose. More because I'm pretty fine with being in a committed relationship. We're cooperating. We're doing everything that a couple would do, except walking down the aisle.
Mm-hmm. That's 100%.
I mean, unless you want the party. Do you want the party? Because don't get me wrong. One of the main reasons why I'd want to get married is for the motherfucking party, not the wedding.
Exactly
the party.
That's exactly what myself and mine are gonna like. We discussed it. Like, okay, we got the court shit out of the way, which is great, but we're aiming for like having the friends and family celebrate that. That's
absolutely. Why couldn't you wait for that?
I mean,
absolutely. I totally agree. Why couldn't you wait for that?
People wait. That's for what they want to wait for.
Off air, we talked about this. What I said was very clearly, I'm not against you getting married. I did hesitate because I'm trying to be very very, 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 very PC right now. I'm not technically against it, but I didn't understand why you went that route. That's why I'm asking. When you're going to get married, and I'd asked you practically, was it because of property? Was it because of insurance? Was it because of life insurance? Was it because of something on paper? You told me no, so I asked you why. Because if your goal is to have a celebration with your family and friends, why couldn't you wait for the celebration with your family and friends to then get married? Do you see where the disconnect is for me?
No, I completely understand because that's exactly what was running through my head at the time. But like I said, in today's society, the younger generation, they don't look at it that way. The older generation, we don't care. We're married. We're together. It doesn't matter. It's the same idea. Marriage is only
it's
a piece of paper that you're signing.
And it's a binding legal contract at that. You're talking to a man who worked in eligibility, finance for a hospital system, okay? And I dealt with low-income houses, charity cases, and these people would get, for lack of a better word, fucked up because they are married, but they're separated, but they're not together, but they are together legally, and we still need their paperwork, but you haven't seen them in 10 years. I started telling these people, I understand, but marriage is not about love. It is a contract. I got so jaded. I was telling patients these things. I said, I'm sorry, but marriage is not about love, whether you love each other or not. It's a contract. And unfortunately, you're still in a contract. So you need to get out of this contract. See what I'm trying to say? So this is why I ask practical questions about this. Why?
And then the other issue is you get thrown at you is that you don't really love the other individual if you're not willing to get married to them. And I find that to be 100% bullshit for the simple fact,
beyond words.
Right, it's very manipulative, and you're utilizing the concept of marriage for the sake.
That is just like saying that a woman doesn't really love a guy if she doesn't have sex with him every day. It doesn't equate. Yes, it does. It's the exact same shit. It's literally it's just arbitrary. You don't love me because you do my laundry. You don't love me because you don't sex me. You don't love me because you don't come home on time. You don't love me because you don't ask my text messages within 5 minutes. That's a very arbitrary thing to say. Being married, marriage is not a reflection of love, in my opinion.
No, it is not.
Commitment
but
is.
Commitment is. But a lot of the main issue is a lot of younger women are taught that, if you love somebody to a certain point, marriage is the goal. And that's the problem, because it's not. You can literally be together with somebody without being married.
I could understand
that's
if somehow being married, your genitals would only work for that person you're married to. There was some kind of something. But being married doesn't prove commitment. Being married does not prove loyalty. Being married does not prove happiness or guarantee happiness. Being married does not prove or guarantee they're not going to cheat on you. It's just another level. It actually makes being in a relationship more complicated, because when you are unhappy, you have a choice. It's the whole cheaper to keep her or fight to get out of it. It actually binds you to a situation that you are hoping will remain positive, and some of them do. But what is the hold on, let me look it up right now. U.S. divorce rate of 2021.
Oh yeah, it's high as shit.
Super high, especially now. It's super high.
Essentially,
it's super high.
Divorce was an option.
I want to say 56%.
Hit an all-time high. United States at 53%. 53% of all marriages in 2021 end in divorce. Tell me again why this is the correct path to go on. Tell me again why. Again, I'm not saying I will never get married. This podcast is ruining my love life. But what I'm saying, though, is that it is ruining my love life. But what I'm saying, though, is that give me something more. At least tell me I want a party. For me, it's a party. I want to be hoisted up on a chair and go hava.
You're not a Jew.
I want that. You don't fucking know that.
You want to have a tequila?
How dare you assume what I identify with romantically, religiously?
Wow.
Anyway.
Wow is right.
So but that's what I'm saying, though, and that's what it goes back to. So when it comes back to your friend or whatever, I respect him for holding on to his stance, because we have a mutual friend, okay, that swore up and down the place he was never getting married. He didn't believe in it, and he swore that his partner didn't believe in it either. Then they got engaged. And I questioned it. I said, well, I thought you said, oh, well, it's symbolic. I got out of the ring, but I'm actually getting married. It was just, we're engaged now. I said, all right. I'm currently in a bachelor party group chat. because the wedding is in a... So I want to make it very clear. And so, unfortunately, I don't feel like getting into it with him to find out, how did you go from I'm never getting married to, all right, I'm just going to get engaged, but both of us don't want to get married or have kids, to I'm getting married in 2 years, let's plan a bachelor party. What happened? What changed? Why did you...
It must have been something that only they fucking knew what was going on between them both.
No, again, I'm not judging him, but I am. I want to know, what changed, because clearly because in that case, I think maybe an ultimatum happened. Maybe there's pressure from the family. Maybe there's pressure from her. You know what I'm trying to say? Something changed.
Right, and that's the other issue, especially when it comes to women, where they're afraid to stand up for themselves when it comes to their family. And, they're in a long-term relationship with a guy, 5, 6, 7 years. And the family starts asking questions like, when are you guys going to get married? When are you guys going to have kids? And instead of being like, we'll do it on our own personal time, mind your damn business, they're just like, oh my God, my family's asking. We have to do something. We have to make my family happy. You know what?
They start whispering in your ear and start changing you and cajoling you into things that you never wanted. You know what I'm saying? That's...
I have a story about that, by the way, that happened recently.
Why you got married?
No, well, I mean,
Sorry. I thought you were going to tell that
Jay,
story.
the why I got married part, to me, is more like, I like the idea of just, it was more like one of those fairy tale bullshit ideas when I was...
You went to the court, you signed papers. Where was the fairy tale in
but
that?
The idea...
Where did she drop her shoe?
The idea of having a title of being a husband or wife, I've always liked that. And I guess...
Why couldn't you wait? Are you dying? Are you dying? Okay, so you waited all this time for that that husband title. Why couldn't you wait and do it with some ceremony, with some pomposity? You tell your other story. I'm not getting into this on
I
air with
mean,
you.
it really isn't that difficult to understand. At least for me, it's not.
No, it is difficult to
No, for me, it
understand.
isn't. For you, it might be, but for me, it's not.
Are you still gonna have a wedding
I mean, if the venue that we have,
or like a party or like a reception party or
if
something?
the venue that we have has both a chapel and a reception, but we don't have to do the chapel. Like it wasn't brought up.
Is it is that a yes? You're still gonna have the ceremony
I
and the
don't really
party and
care.
the
I don't really care about
festivities?
having a chapel shit. I just want
Are
the
you going to?
yeah.
Jesus Christ! Answer the question.
Why don't you shut the fuck up
Yes.
and let me answer the question? I said I
Answer the
didn't want a
question.
chapel. I wanted more along the lines of a reception. If you shut the fuck up and listen, maybe you can hear the answer. I want a reception, and we both agreed on this. However, the reason why we
Uh huh.
started to talk about getting the papers as
Hmm.
quickly as we can because it was a personal, mutual thing between us both that we both spoke about greatly at numerous times without speaking to anybody else in our circles about how
Uh huh.
it would be best for us. I mean, realistically, I brought up the idea, not her. And I said, and then when I brought up the idea of just getting married through the courts because of all the stuff that's going on this year with the academy and the move and the headaches and this, that, and the third, I said, let's try to do it over here in Georgia because she wanted to do it in New York. Her family wanted to do it in New York. And I opposed of doing it in New York because I told her mother and her family it's not happening because I'm not coming
Hmm.
back on a weekday, which I can't take a day off to go to court and then
Hmm.
fly back. I'm not a bank, so I'm just gonna go ahead and.
What I don't. But that's the thing though. We're going back to this court thing. Why did it have to go down like that? Who's getting deported? Her or you? Who needs their
No,
papers?
I'm pretty sure she's legal. She was born here.
That's what I'm saying though. The answer is yes. You went around about it. Yes, you're still having some kind of party, some kind of ceremony, right? Fine. So it goes back to my question, and hate on me if you want, audience, but I'm asking something legitimate. Why couldn't you wait till the party? What was the urgency to have to do it that
We
way
just
then?
we just wanted to do it. We just wanted to. They really. I don't. I usually have a reasoning or an excuse for things. I just
What
don't.
changed? What changed?
I
What
think
changed?
for me and just for me, I can't speak on her, but for me, the pressure
Uh huh.
of having to start this career and the pressure of having to move, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be thinking about doing any of this in another year or two because I'm still going to be in a certain.
Which is what? May I ask what's wrong with that?
I mean, it's wrong.
You're not dragging your feet, Joe. You weren't dragging your feet, Joe. You moved. You're increasing your career. You're doing right by you and your at the time fiance and your child. You're building your family. It couldn't have waited a year or two. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm questioning. Manny, back me up on this shit. No, I'm serious. I mean, I know I'm not the only one who thinks that this doesn't make any
No,
sense.
I mean, listen, but no, it doesn't because it's and again, no judgment against you, Joe. All the judgment.
I judge you. I judge you off air.
But it's exactly what I was just saying earlier. Like a lot of people, they fall into the fairy tale that marriage is necessary, and it really isn't. Now, if you're in a situation where both of you come to terms with it, both of you plan it together, there was no ultimatum brought up, which is very much the case nowadays. Um, you know, then be all for it. If you plan it together, you guys do it together. That's fine. It doesn't. It's not the same for everybody. A lot of people are they're influenced by family members, by friends, by strangers, by they're influenced by other parties, and that's the problem. It's just why if the relationship's going
Mm-hmm.
strong 5, 6, 7 years, there's no issues,
Mm-hmm.
no problems or whatever, and marriage comes up again. If it's a mutual thing, fine. But if why break something that's not broken? Because marriage it's a very very strenuous thing. Having been married and still dealing with my marriage, it's very frustrating because you are tied down to that document until it is put in court, to have it alleviated. Even after the fact, it still becomes an issue, and it's annoying. Yeah, and it's annoying. Why should I have to, deal with this when I didn't even want to deal with it in the first place? I only did it because I was trying to be, and I'm not speaking for myself. It's just overall, generally speaking. Like I try to be a good boyfriend, or I try to be a good girlfriend. I try to be the better person.
What it's called? I forget what it's called. My kid's mom said that shit to me when I refused to marry her. She's like, you would have done the right thing if you married me, and I said, the hell I what? So yeah, you're doing the right thing. You're being a righteous man, or making an honest woman out of her, or whatever bull crap they want to use these days. But again, when it comes to urgency and stuff, I just as much as I question our mutual friend, I question you, Joe. Was there an external factor that was pressuring you that you won't admit to?
No,
whether it be on air or off air.
As much as you want to believe there was, because I feel like sometimes when you talk to people, specifically you like to believe that there are other outcomes, and sometimes you don't believe that person when they say there isn't. I'm being honest. There isn't.
I don't.
There isn't any other outcome.
The action doesn't make any sense.
There isn't.
When the action doesn't make any sense.
There isn't any other outcome though that pressured me to do anything.
You just woke up and said, "Let's go to the court and sign these papers."
We've always talked about this though, me and her. We've always discussed having to.
About just going to the court. And
that's why it's there in the first place. Besides people doing it for like other reasons, like green cards or insurance or financial, whatever. People do it for that reason as well. There are many reasons why people go get married in the court. I actually saw like
no. I get that. It could be financial. It could be financial reasons.
It could be green cards.
Reasons. But for you, there is no external factor. For me, what you're basically saying is you were thinking about it, and then one day you're like, you know what, we've been talking about this. Let's just go do it. Call it a day. Some people go to the courts because they just don't want to have a wedding. They want to be private. That's why I asked you. Are you planning on doing this?
I said that. So I brought up that when we moved here because we were in a rough place in the beginning, and I was very stressed out because for some reason things weren't working out with the living arrangement. So I said, look, I feel like this is not going to be working out like this year or next year because of what I have to do. I don't want to do a reception or wedding. Fuck it. I'm not doing anything. Let's just go to the court, get married, tell people we did it, and that's it, the end. I don't want no party. I don't want no chapel, nothing, because it's not going to work out. And I said that to her, and she looked at me and she said, no, we're going to do all that. It's going to be okay. We'll just do it when we can. And that's that.
And
that was it. And then when we finally got settled and were somewhat comfortable, which happened now, we just decided to say, fuck it, let's just go to court and do it. It wasn't like a pressure thing from anybody, because I would have known if it was pressured. It wasn't a pressure thing. It was just some people just do things because they do it. I mean, I don't know.
And that's what you did. You got married because you could do it. I get it.
I mean, we're gonna do the reception, but it's not happening.
I'm telling you, but what I'm saying, Joe, is if roles were reversed and I told you this story, you would think I was a fucking moron, and you would question me just the way I'm questioning you, and you know it. You know it.
I would question you. I would question you, but I wouldn't be as passionate to say that you're doing something,
I'm not saying you did anything wrong. I didn't say that. All I asked you was why couldn't it wait? That's the major question I've been asking you is why then? Why right then? Why right now? You can ask me, okay, what's something that I did impulsively this year? I went back to school. I didn't do my FAFSA. I didn't have any financial aid. I'm paying out of pocket for school. The question would be asked me, wow, you haven't talked about school in forever. Why now? Why then? I can tell you. My advisor called me. My job, my boss kind of told me get back into it. I was inspired. Something inspired me to just say screw it. Let me start dropping hundreds of dollars and get back into school. Going back to school at 38 is not the same thing as getting married, spur of the moment. However,
that's not a bad thing though.
I know why it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but it could be potentially harmful because you weren't planning for it. You didn't have the budget for it. It's the same concept. When it comes to just waking up and saying, yeah, let's get married. Let's just do it. Let's just go sign some papers, and we'll have the after party a couple of years later. When you look at it like that, then the question then is inevitable is, then why couldn't you do it all together but later? You just said you moved and things are kind of crappy, and you're like, you know what? I don't like this move. Our relationship situation sucks. We're in a new state. Let's get married. That sounds like Mr. and Mrs. Dick in a rut. Like, why would you want to do that?
No, I said I didn't want to have anything. Like, I didn't want to have any celebration.
No, right, but that you wanted to just get it over with, because when you first moved to Atlanta, while things were kind of like rocky, that was what you just told us in the audience, and that was your thing. It's like, oh, look, things are rocky.
Yeah,
our living range kind of sucks. Let's just do it.
She presented the because I think even you still have to go to court to do something. Yeah, like
no, of course, yeah, that's the end result.
I'm saying, yeah, exactly. Like, legally, you have to do something
to get the license. Yeah.
Even if you do the ceremony and the reception, which is fine. Yeah.
No, of course, the wedding is again the pomp
right.
and circumstance.
So when she presented me when we were living in Brooklyn the last month, and she presented me with the certificate or something, the thing to start where you can and legally get married, like where you could start it, but you don't have, but it's not like finalized. When she presented it to me, I didn't think that this was gonna. I didn't think that was her idea. I thought she wanted, because I told you this before last year. I was like, no, she wants like 400 fucking people and the wedding to be $60,000.
I know.
And I was like, I'm not doing that shit. That's stupid.
So,
to me, that's dumb.
Correct. But you never said you didn't want any kind of celebration. You see, you overcorrected the other direction. See, unfortunately, the audience doesn't know the context. I know the context. You know the context, which is why I'm so about you being married the way you got married, and just it was like, oh, I got up, I went to Subway, got me a sandwich, got married, then went to the academy. That's pretty much how you said it to me. There was no big. Oh yeah, I got married. You know what? Is that what you said? Yeah, we went to the courts and got married.
I'm not gonna lie.
So yeah,
I'll be the first one to admit that is exactly how I told her. That is exactly how I told her.
Again, so anyway, Manny, yeah, and you it was a foot long. You ate half of it before the court. You ate the other half after the court.
Oh my god! Shit.
Oh god! Jesus Christ!
So
from who?
I'm getting some answers.
I thought you just dick around on your phone, not paying attention to the podcast.
Yeah. No. Okay. I was trying to get some answers. So I asked him if he made it known and he made it aware that he was never interested in marriage. And he says, yeah, but I didn't tell her that I wasn't ever interested in marriage. I just wasn't interested right now. He says if it happens later on.
You see?
Yeah. If it happens later on, that's fine. I said, all right, so how long were you guys together? He said 2.5 years.
Not that long.
She's never been married. I was.
See, but now it makes sense.
He felt.
Oh, but please.
Yeah, there's more context coming in here. Then he said that she made it feel like it was an ultimatum, and he basically just told her, he's like, listen, I never said I don't want to marry you. I just don't want to right now. We're only 2.5 years in. He said he brought up domestic partnership and even discussed the prenup.
I know that's right.
She didn't want to understand.
We want prenup, yeah.
And
something that
we want
prenup,
have. Yeah.
We've done this before in this podcast. The same shit.
That she wanted marriage and she didn't want to settle, which is why she wanted marriage. And what is he saying here? Oh, according to this, he said she didn't want to rush it, but she wanted to know if I would marry her.
But he said yes.
And I couldn't give her a definitive answer until how long.
Did she want that? Was she asking for like?
Yes. Apparently, according to this, she was into the, because I told him, I said, it doesn't seem like she was interested in the relationship if she was so eager to walk away from it. Like, oh, you don't want to marry me? We're 2.5 in. All right, nigga, I'm out. To me that's just, again, it's like it's it's no longer about the relationship. It's just about the title, the
But
the
Manny,
the
but
wants out of
Manny,
it. Like that's
but
not, and
Manny,
that's
you have to
my
understand
biggest
something.
beef with relationships
This
today.
is a woman we're talking about. They hear what they want to hear. If he said, "I don't want to be married from period ever again," that's one thing. He said, "I don't want to be married right now." So all she's thinking is, "I've been with this dude for over 2 years. He was already married." She's now comparing herself. What did his ex-wife show him that made him make that commitment that I'm not showing him to commit to me? I'm not her, but still, she was taking it personal. It was a personal thing. That's what it really was. And if he couldn't give her a time frame, which I find this to be stupid. I don't agree with the ultimate. I don't agree with the time frame. But because he was already married, she knows that he already has the potential to commit like that to somebody. Period. It didn't work out. It didn't work out. But now we're together. I'm not this woman. You've already committed to the wrong woman. I'm the right woman, and you won't even consider a time frame with me. So I'm not as good as the one from before. You see what I'm saying? She took it personally. I'm not defending her. But that's the
Yeah, of
thing.
course.
I thought that he said, "I'm not interested in being married ever again." Hard stop. That's different. But if he's like, "Well, I'm not saying I don't want to marry you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I don't want to marry you now." That's a mind game for women. Not his intention. What he said was very reasonable. But you have to understand that some women, most women, are not that reasonable. They're not. So I can understand why she felt the way she felt, because it attacked her personally.
It feels like a game, and I get that, but unfortunately, this is what I need everybody to understand, because this is something that
Yes.
comes with context and conversations, because he's telling me right now he had several conversations with her going back and forth. He did everything that he could to reassure her that he's not going anywhere, that
Well, Nick, if you ain't going
just
nowhere,
because
why
he
won't you
says
put a
he
ring
doesn't
on
want
it?
to marry her now doesn't mean right. And that's the
Exactly.
that's the mind game that gets played. But my thing is, if you have conversation, you need to be understanding of situations and put your shoes on, switch shoes, as they say. um he's been married before, you have not. He's obviously been scarred through that marriage. I'm not saying that you need to compare yourself to the other person or anything like that. The issue is, you know marriage is a very big deal to everybody. I'm pretty sure if the tables were
It's a very
turned,
big deal
it'd
to
be the
everybody
same
but
way.
Joe.
Women are not going to get remarried because,
Now he's gonna be in his feelings now. Watch.
but
It's my
if
feelings. I'm just letting you know. It's a big deal to everybody but Joe.
Okay. If that's how you feel.
yeah, I even told her. I said, so my thing is, like, you hear what you want to hear, you listen to what you want to listen to, but you're not taking the situation for what it is. He just basically he told me, and again, I can only go by what he's telling me. I wasn't there, obviously. I don't know her
Well,
side of the
we're
story
not concerned
because
about her
I'm
side of the story.
not
We
talking to
never are.
her. But
We're
right,
never
exactly.
concerned. We're never concerned about the women's
She's
side of the story. This is the
she's
last of the nice
evil.
guy.
Yeah. But my thing is, and I need, and people just need to understand, just that there's you have to. That's why the
Mhm.
conversations are there. You have to have the open communication, and you have to be willing to understand and be like, listen, this is a really great person. I love him. I want to be with him or her. Whatever. And if they're telling me they're like the idea of marriage is not completely off the table, just give it time. It yes, I mean he's older than I am, so maybe he's um
No,
running out of
men
time.
don't
But
run out of time for
this,
marriage. Women run
I
out of
mean, I'm
time to
sure
give birth for child rearing.
no, but I don't know. I don't know if she doesn't have children. I
It
didn't
could be
ask
that,
that,
but
so
you see
that's
what I'm saying.
probably
That's where
a
you have to be more
factor in it. Because,
understanding.
yeah, there's so many, right. There's so many things. But even like, I don't know. Again, I don't know if she has children. So, um, I don't know if she has children or not. And a lot of that plays into, like, oh, I want a child,
But
but before we have a
that's
child, I want to get
communication
married.
though. That's communication. See
That happens a
what
lot too.
a mature
Right.
woman would have done is, okay, marriage is not off the table. Is there anything that I can do to help ease you into it? What do I need to? I mean, unfortunately, you have to earn it. These things have to be earned, and you have to want to earn it. She should have been like, okay, well, listen, marriage isn't off the table. Is there anything that I can do to make you more comfortable with the idea of getting married? What are your standards for a wife? Have that conversation. If his standards are unrealistic, walk away. If his standards are realistic, yeah.
She has one child and doesn't want any more kids. So that's out the window.
So ask him right now. Do you know why she wanted to get married? Why did she want to get married? She already procreated. She's with a long-term relationship. They're an advanced age. So what was her reasoning? This is where the conversation comes in. You have to have this conversation. Because, again, what is the difference between being in a long-term committed relationship and being married? Just the superficial title and all the legal baggage with it. Okay? He wants to come on?
He wants...
Who's Michael Knight?
No, he wants me to refer to him as Michael Knight.
That's from Knight Rider.
That's what he wants me to call. He says, refer to me as Michael Knight. He's like, I'm dying here, knowing that you're recording and talking to me about this.
Technology for you. Well, Michael Knight. Did you ask Kit? No, let me stop. Did you? No, but seriously, that's a good question. Is what, and that's what I would ask the chick. What would change for you? No. Don't say it like that. Of course, don't say it like that. Except unless you're talking to Joe, you can say it like that all you want. But in reality, it's like, babe, listen, I understand you want to get married. I've already been married. It's not really my thing. I love you to death. I'm not saying I won't get married to you, but what is the significance to you? Why is it so important to you? You have to have these communication, and if you, and recognize that if you hit an impasse, then maybe you should end the relationship. Walk away. There's nothing wrong with that, If you reach an impasse, I want it, but I don't want it. There's no compromise available, or within a good time frame, then walk away. Because that's when you ask the question, why?
So he says he never really got a good reason on why she wanted to get married. It was just something that she wanted. He says he doesn't think he clearly asked her, or maybe she did say something, but he can't really remember it.
Michael Knight, it'll be okay. It'll okay, brother.
Oh no, he
is. There's life. There's
and
life.
He's an avid listener of this podcast, so he's gonna.
What's the phrase? No, what is it? Come on, a woman who is not like cooperative, whatever.
Uncooperative.
There's life after. Michael Knight. There's life after fuck cheeks. Okay, there is. So
first of all, yeah.
Okay.
There are several fuck cheeks out there.
You know what?
Yo, right now we got to copyright this. Fuckcheeks.com. Make the app. Let's do it. Dating website right now, coming near you. Fuck cheeks.
He said copyright fuckcheeks.com. What is going on? Listen, the next episode is what are fuck cheeks, and that's it. That is our next episode. Okay, because this is the funniest thing. Oh God, it was supposed to be mature. Anyway, but yeah, no. But I have to ask these questions. Because again, I'm a very practical individual. I'm very practical. I don't really do much on emotion. Like, I really don't. I get angry and stuff like that. But most of my decision makings are very practical. They're foundations in logic, which is why I butt heads with some women, because I don't come from an emotional spot. So when you say, I just want to get married to you, babe, and I say, but why? Why now? What's the rush? What's the issue? I'm looking for, give me something other than just, I want to. You know what I'm saying? I need to, kind of a thing. So like, and anything that I do, for the most part, that's profound or whatever, I can give you a reason why. It may not be a good reason. It may not even be something that you respect. but you'll still get a reason. It won't just be like because I wanna. Oof. And that's why. What he said.
He's chiming in right now.
But why?
So my question to him was, what changed? Yeah, but why? I said, what changed for her on why she wanted to get married and wasn't okay with just being in a long-term relationship? And
I love the dots.
I'm still.
This is our first interactive audience participation ever on this podcast, and I'm glad that Joe's here at his forehead to see this.
You can't see my whole face?
No, I can see.
So right and then he.
Oh.
Now I can see your whole face.
So then he says, I'm hurt by the whole situation, but I try to understand it's something that she feels strongly about. I mean, he texted me like a week or two ago, so wow. I'm having this is gotta be pretty recent.
Okay, good. Carry on.
He says it was something that I could not give her, which was the answer that she wanted at that moment. So with this, I wasn't going to lie
Michael
to her
Knight,
about
faced with and you're hurt. You clearly cared for this woman. Faced with now the ultimatum of marry me or I'm leaving. Why didn't he marry her? Ask that question for me. No dead air. This is a good question. I'm curious. Yeah, it's like listen.
You want me to ask him why he didn't marry her?
Faced with losing her or keeping her, why didn't he just bite the bullet and get married or get engaged to delay the time? To stall for time, because that's what a man could have done. That is what some men do. Oh, she wants to get married. I'll just get engaged and it'll delay her another 2 years. And hopefully I can get through it. It's true. So why didn't he?
So he gave me an answer that is off the record. So I can't respond to that.
Can he rephrase?
So I told him that I would rephrase. And he's telling me verbatim what happened. I'm trying to transcribe. Transcribe it. So basically, a major life incident happened in which she was basically made to believe that you should go after what you want.
Okay.
Not settle. Because
that's fine. That's why she
you never know what's going on.
What I'm asking is, now being faced with, marry me or lose me, and he clearly cared about her. Why didn't he bite the bullet then, and marry her, or at least appease her with an engagement?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's my question. I'm not saying that he's wrong for that, but some men do that to appease the woman. They'll just get married,
so they can just keep them in their lives.
He did an admirable thing. He did a hard stop and said, "No, I won't." So the question is, okay, well, if you clearly he cared about her because he's hurting about it. So why didn't he come to a compromise and maybe to appease her, get engaged for a little bit, or just suck it up and marry her? Why didn't he do that to keep her? That's the question.
Well, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to go through that again. Just getting married to.
So that's probably the answer, though, which is fine. But then again, remember, conversely, the alternative, he loses the relationship and he's crushed about it. See what I'm trying to say? He's a rock in a hard place. Why did he feel like it was better to just lose her than to commit the same? I don't want to say sin, but commit the same act again. And you know what I'm saying? Like that's the question. Is it a matter of that he didn't see the full potential in her? Is it that? Is it a little bit of him? There's
you said
more to it.
You said he was scorned
because
beforehand. That could be a huge reason why, though.
Yes.
Maybe out of fear.
You're absolutely right. No, and fear, and what did he say? He said, "Tell Jason."
I asked him. He's like, I don't understand.
Sorry, Michael Knight. But no, I'm dead serious. It's just a question because again, you have to ask these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the best example I have is that ex that I had. I could have easily just kept quiet and let her be a subpar girlfriend. I guarantee we would have still been together to this day. Or I speak up and say, listen, you kind of suck at this. Do better. Oh, we're breaking up? Okay, cool. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not the same thing, but that's where I am, you know? Because it was a hard stop for me. Either you show reciprocation or I'm out. And that's what that is the basically for all with me with all women. You don't show any reciprocation, even a little bit of reciprocation, I'm out. I don't care how hot you are, how much fun you may be. So that's why I asked Michael Knight is like, you know, where he chose a hard stop as opposed to I'm with this woman, I care about her, I love her. Let me give her what she wants, or give her part of what she wants, kind of a thing. It's kind of like the reason why Joe got married.
I got married for life insurance as well too.
So, of course you did.
The immigration office called me to verify that he actually is in a relationship with his wife.
You know,
I was like,
you do know she's American born, right? It's her family that some of them are not American born, not her.
I don't know any of that, Joe, because I don't really know
that's
her.
why that's why
Joe.
she made the effort.
I don't know your wife, Joe.
Say she wants to come in August.
Oh yeah, she made the effort to come when I'm on one of the busiest weekends I'll ever have in my entire life.
The party is
wow.
It's just one night.
It's just one night. You never planned a party before, right? Oh, that's because you go to court. Manny, what else did what else you say? You understand how I'm gonna be planning this thing until the day
Mr.
and
Knight?
I'm recovering the day afterwards. You think I'm gonna have a single moment to connect with your wife?
Well, actually, the next day is
Joe?
Sunday anyway. So yeah, you're right. Sunday's not gonna be a good day to do it.
Yeah.
Because we got to go back anyway.
Yeah.
So. Fuck your recovery. We got to go back.
Okay. Shoot. She's making the effort. Man, you a dumb fuck. Manny, come on now. No dead air.
So, okay, I'm doing my best here. I'm reading as you know.
But here's the thing. He knows that you're currently talking about
anything.
it while we're on the air. Michael Knight, can you please make
and
it
I
easier
told him
on
that
man?
I would.
I see the steam come out of his motherfucking ears. He is transcribing in his head. Okay.
That's why I'm quiet. So he says after his previous marriage, he sees things differently. And he did not. Oh no, but that doesn't mean he didn't see himself.
That's what I'm saying.
Without her.
Now, faced. Okay.
And then, having rephrased the question, he then says, "Because what happens after an engagement, marriage, and I don't know if I want to go through that again. I'm worried about all of my assets, what I've gained, and what will gain without her." So that's why I brought up a prenup as a compromise. And there's dots now. So hold on. But see, I understand what he's talking about because that's something that I brought up in my situation with my marriage is that, I told her, the one main issue that I have with this country when it comes to marriage and children is that everything falls on the man to give to the woman. And that is the biggest piece of trash that I've ever heard in my life, especially if that woman doesn't deserve it. And again, I'm not saying that all women are not deserving or anything like that, but you have women out there, right? You have women out there that ain't shit, and for me to get married to somebody because I love them and we appreciate each other, yada yada yada, and then somewhere along the lines it doesn't work out, and I got to give her half of everything that had nothing to do with her. That's trash, and that's I understand that concept.
I don't want to mean to cut you off.
And it's unfair because it's not like
numerous
I get
studies
half.
have shown this fact. Nearly 70% of divorces are initiated by the women. 53% of marriages end in divorce, and 70% of those 53%, the vast majority of it, are initiated by the women, who then have the courts on their side to get all the assets and alimony and child support. Even if they initiated, they are still entitled. Right? You are not. So that's kind of sucky. So now, did she want to get married because homeboy had some assets and she's gonna hang in there and then let him build it up and then leave and get some of that shit? Do you see how my mind works? Not to be negative, but I have to ask these practical questions. What do you gain from this? Because a woman has everything to gain and a man has everything to lose in a marriage.
Everything to lose.
No,
yeah.
everything. It's just a phrase. It's a phrase, and sometimes it's more than half. By the way,
and
it's about equalizing. It's about equalizing her standard of living. Remember how we said, is an ex required to upkeep his girlfriends? The answer is no. In a relationship, in a marriage, the answer is yes. If the wife is accustomed to a certain standard of living, most courts say that the man has to match that as best as he can. He's responsible to maintain his ex-wife's standard of living. Yeah. That's why they get alimony.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless the woman says, "I don't want that."
According to studies,
appreciate the one win that we may get in this world.
Hold on, 50% of marriages end in divorce.
It never happens.
70% of those marriages are initiated by women, and 0.01% have women who don't want anything from men. I made that last one up though. I made that last one up. That last. That's what I'm saying. I made up 0.1%. I made that up. Okay, please.
I'm sure it's
as ruthless as some women are, but they would rape the man for all he's worth, even if she initiated the wedding, the divorce. Yeah,
the marriage proposal or the divorce, and the problem is, she doesn't even have to want to do it. The fact that the ability is there. When I went through custody battles with my son many years ago, my son's mother's lawyer was telling her, "You know what you can get out of him right now? You know what the courts will give you?" And she straight up looked at her lawyer like, this dude is not a bad guy. It's not like he screwed me over. It's not like he's a bad father or whatever. Like, why are you telling me this? Because you can get it.
Yeah, you're
why would you not want that? And she looked at her like, okay, we're done here.
Yes.
So I caught a W that day. But if it was, you know what I'm saying? If it was anybody else, I would have probably just lost my ass. And who would have knows what else? And that's the crazy part. The fact that the ability is there. It doesn't even matter what the reasoning is. The ability is always there to have that power to screw over a man in his life.
But what do women say? I'm not like
that. That's a scary thing.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't take advantage of it of the system. I'm not like that. They all say this. They do.
But they all say it. But the problem is the option is always there. Even if you go to court and say, "Your Honor, I don't want that." A month later, if you're pissed off, you can change that. And you get it back.
One day you go to work, you get paid.
And we as men, we're just like...
It happened to me. I was put on child support twice in my life. 2007, 2012.
Removed.
I'll give her 2007, a little bit. 2012, she had... No, it came out. It came out because of child support. Because what she did, it's exactly what Manny said. She put me on child support in 2007. I told her we're going to court for custody. Right. She backed down. I had her sign a form. Sign a letter and notarize. I kept it. Several years later, for whatever excuse she had, I don't remember. Maybe we fought. Maybe I pissed her off. Maybe I was dating somebody. I don't remember what it was. She just went back to Department of Children and Families, and like a light switch, they turned it back on. And one day, I had $500 missing from my paycheck, and it said child support. Out of nowhere, for absolutely no reason. Yep. So he's absolutely right.
Yep, and that's the scary. That's the scary thing that we as men have to deal with when it comes to marriage and child support and having children.
If I didn't have this briefcase, No, fuck cheeks. Yeah,
Facts of fuck
of
cheeks.
documented fuck cheeks. If
Fuck
I
cheeks.
if I didn't have this briefcase when I went to battle with her in 2012, the battle she started, by the way, I would have had nothing. I would have been screwed. But I had my receipts. I had the documents. I had the papers. I had the old judgments. My lawyer loved me. I had everything. And to this day, I still have that briefcase. And I will have that briefcase until both my kids turn 18. Why? Don't trust her. She did it once, she can do it again for whatever reason. It sucks that's the kind of father that I have to be. That I have to have a briefcase popping out the seams with documents ever since my kids were born to verify anything that might come my way. And and it was proven to me years later. 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 6 years later. Most men after a year or two, it'll never happen again. Nope, I knew who I was dealing with. Please believe it happened, and it happened without warning. This is what happens. This is the risk men take when they commit or procreate.
Oh. When we sign those papers, right? And that's the problem, because women get away with it scot-free. And again, it's not a slight against women. It's a slight against
It's a slight against women.
The system was made to be that way.
Because
what do you mean no?
That take advantage of it. Yes, that take advantage of it.
It's a slight against the women that take advantage of this situation. It exists,
but
right.
You still have to take advantage of it.
That I agree.
Everything can be abused, Manny. You know this. Anything can be abused.
Right.
So it's not the particular thing.
Of course.
So it's the person, it's the individual or individuals that abuse it. So no, I don't blame this. I mean, the system is jacked up, but it sucks that it is there to be abused. But it's not saying he automatically abused me. You go in there, you choose to abuse it. You choose to put down a man for whatever reason you want to put him down for, and bring him to his knees financially. I've been there.
Right, and that's the issue, because women are very emotional creatures, and that's what they do. They go on a whim and they act. Either way, they completely 90-something%. I don't even know. Their reactions and their actions are based on emotions, and from one day to the next, like I just said earlier, oh, I don't want this right now. Everything's fine. And then you get pissed off or something happens. And it could be something as dear like, oh, he's taking that bitch to that restaurant that he said he was going to take me to, and he never did. And now they're over there laughing and having drinks. You know what? Child support. Yeah. I want it now.
Yes.
It's just ridiculous. Something as simple as, yo, we're not even together anymore.
The second time I was put on child support, I was in a relationship that was very, very new. She had already moved on, had another kid, and I think was living with the dude. She had no dog in that fight. So why did she do it? And by the way, I had the boys, our kids, more often than not. And I was always on call. And when she called me, I would pick them up without any question. I never gave her any hard time. But she still did it. And to this day, and I'm gonna ask one day, because I don't know what was the catalyst? What made you be like, yeah, I'm going to do this to him right now because I deserve it. Why? Why? Why did you deserve it? What wasn't I doing? Why did I deserve that behavior, that treatment in 2012? Arguably at the height of my the peak of my fatherhood.
Right.
You know, so that's the weirdest thing. So Manny's absolutely right. So I mean, if this is what Michael Knight's thinking about, then I get it. You know, if this is what's
right, because his main concern is, and it's the same thing that I would be concerned with. What would happen if he enters into marriage and then he would have to, and it doesn't work out, and then now he has to divide assets and get money involved or whatever.
Why do you already think it's not going to work out? It's going to work out. So why are you thinking like that? You shouldn't have to think like that. This is a woman's response. That's exactly
right, and that's it. I'm not that person that did that to you, and the funny thing is, you know, I dealt with the same situation in the past where, the conversation was, oh, I want to be married and have children by a certain age, and I'm like, you know, that's like a year from now, right?
That's like next week, right?
Like we just this is this is like date 3 or 4, and you're already talking about a year from now you want a ring and a child. What? Like, this is one of the no. I was out right after that. Literally, I was like, this is one of the situations you don't tell a man that shit.
Saying
the man's like, listen,
because it weeded out the ones who exactly.
Of
no,
course.
And she communicated it.
She
properly.
has goals and she wants, and I get that's.
But
it's
we have the right to be like,
she openly communicated what she wanted. That's fine. But
now we don't need your fuck cheeks.
Like, I'm good, and that's exactly what I did. Right. And I was just like, no, then they weren't great fuck cheeks. But my thing was like, it's just you can't just roll with that. Like, that's something you have to kind of ease in.
You got to lube it up and you got to ease it in.
You can't just go.
That's how you work. That's how you work those fuck cheeks.
Like, and I get that because. But it's just
like these. Why I can never run for
office. I'm familiar with it, and I get it.
Yeah. Did you know that? Did you know that
he's going to come up and be like, he's running for governor, but did you know he
rolled with niggas that say fuck cheeks?
Who does he think he is to be some college fraternity acting little mother? Like, did you know he dropped the N word?
At least it's consistent.
Did you know?
I wonder what this is going to look like.
Oh, we lost them. I'm sure.
Yes. We can wrap it up now.
But my whole thing is, we might as well wrap it up. My whole thing is, ladies, if you're dealing with this situation, there he is. You have to be reminded that a lot is at stake for men.
No, that's exactly what we're saying.
We're not saying that we don't love you. We're not saying that we don't care about you.
What we're saying is that our love for you, our care for you, is not above our self-preservation. And we have to be concerned about our self-preservation because things end. I've said it very clearly. 53% of marriages, that is more than half. That is the majority that wins elections, by the way. Okay? Elections that change the entire country. 53% of marriages end in divorce, and out of the 53%, 70%, the vast majority, are initiated by women. A man has nothing to gain from marriage.
And everything to lose, exactly.
Yes.
And everything to lose. But this is what I mean. Sorry. Like, there's I forgot where I was going with it now. You screwed me up. But there's so much. Oh, okay. So yes, as Jason said, we're all about self-preservation. The thing is, we're 100% about self-preservation, especially when children are involved. Michael Knight has children, and they're not related to
call her a Kit.
Said ex. So he has to take care of. We'll call her Kit. Yes, we'll call her Machine Kit, Car Kit. Whatever. The thing is, and she has her own child. I guess that's what the point is. And that's fine. But again, there's nothing for her to lose should the relationship end in divorce. He has a lot to lose, and that affects his children, and that needs to be understood.
Scarred by the practice of marriage already. She should have been significantly more understanding and patient.
Exactly. I get that certain things in life get you to reevaluate certain things in your life. Or I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Certain events happen in life that force you or get you to rethink, aspects of life. And I understand that because everyday things happen. Something could happen right outside your apartment and be like, damn, that could have been me. Or, the horrible incident that happened in Texas with the school and it could have been your child. I get things happen. And it makes you reflect, go inside internally and reflect and rethink things. And you're like, why wait? We have one life to live. That's why you wait. You have one life to live because if you don't wait and you rush things, you tend to run into mistakes.
Things change. The And I mean, but what do you mean? If like for my life, I can't imagine. The twilight of my life happened when I opened up my goddamn door to my kid's mom, who was looking for my roommate.
Whew.
My life changed. My life changed irregularly ever since then. You see what I'm saying? That was a benign choice. Now, something like that, just opening the door to a woman, changed the entire flow of my life. Could you imagine getting married when you don't feel like you want to or not ready to? You see what I'm saying? Like that's what life is. Life is a series of choices, and you have to think rationally, because if they don't work out, you hold the bag for the consequences. And if a benign choice like that can change your life completely, a big choice like that, when you're not ready, when you're not prepared, when you can't come to a compromise, that's terrible. Your face says you got some more juice. Let's hear it, Manny, wrong podcast.
No.
Yes.
You know how they're saying our phones are always listening?
Marriage counseling?
An article just popped up on my phone. No. It says, I want a divorce, but my wife's past trauma means she won't.
Wait. My wife's past trauma won't.
We're here talking about divorce
because she's been traumatized, or she won't sign the divorce papers because
he wants a divorce, but he won't do it because of her past traumas. And just skimming through this article right now, she was sexually assaulted 12 years ago. Then they found out that she was pregnant, and after some agonizing time, confirmed that the baby was his.
Person. Okay. Okay.
No, his. The husband. Because she's pregnant. But after the aftermath of all this, she had a combined diagnosis of PTSD and postnatal depression.
So what does any of that
during
have to do
which
with
time she rang up a huge amount of debt.
Divorcing her.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, because none of that has anything to do with him specifically,
but anyway,
that's pretty much all her.
Right, and I guess it's gonna sound bad if I say anything else. So I'll just stop right there.
So he just texts back again. He said he told her something similar to what we just said.
And she slapped the
Why are you
shit out of
listening
him?
to what society wants for you? Just do whatever you want. He said it didn't go well. And then he said, then he continued to say,
but why?
Then he's like, then afterwards I was like, maybe I should.
That's a good question. See, that's the thing though, is like, I disagree. I think that's a good question. It's a good statement to make. Are you doing it because that's what society expects with your family, or are you doing it because you want to? And then when you want to, give me more than that. I don't think he did anything wrong. I don't think he said anything wrong. That's what I'm trying to say. Michael Knight, you got this, dude, okay? And there are other fuck cheeks in the world. But what I'm saying, though, is that you should be proud of yourself for sticking to your guns, no matter how much it hurts to not have this individual. Because you have to, if you don't respect yourself, nobody will. And it's okay to have certain things that you won't budge. It's okay. And that's how I feel. I mean, yeah, we can all be stubborn or whatever. No, but there are certain things. Here's a good example. I had met a woman. She lives in West Naples, about 2 hours away. And supposedly, and we were vibing just fine. We were great. We thought each other cool. But she refuses to get into another long distance relationship. And I said, well, what do you consider long distance? You're 2 hours away. That's not. I don't consider that long distance. I've dated women an hour and a half away before. So what's the difference? It's a quick trip. She says, well, that's long distance to me. I said, oh, okay. She says, you're a cool person, but I absolutely, it's a hard stop. I will never be in a long distance relationship again. And I said, okay, I respect that. I said, unfortunately, I'm not here to looking for friendships. I'm not here to network. So I guess we're reaching an impasse. Good luck on your future endeavors. And that was the end of that. I'm not mad at her for that. I respect it. She refuses, and I guess long distance for her is maybe more than half an hour. Whatever that means. She has her reasons for that. Absolutely. I didn't curse her. I didn't call her a bitch or whatever it is. I said, well, sorry you feel that way. You just thought, you seem cool. We could have been interesting. But moving on. Take care. There's nothing wrong. Now, in my opinion, did she lose out on a chance to date a pretty decent guy? Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with having standards and sticking to them.
Right. I mean, listen, the ex or this girl, she had standards that she wanted. I mean, that's the whole point. That's the one thing that we've always said on most of our podcasts. Open communication. That's the number one thing that everybody needs to have. She communicated what she wanted. He communicated where he was at. And
the problem with
it is what it is. It didn't happen, and it didn't work out. And unfortunately, we're all on borrowed time.
Just now, Michael Knight, you are a treasure.
Michael Knight wanted me to tell you that he says hi.
What I'm saying though, very clearly is my example. This just happened literally a couple of weeks ago, last week, whatever. I'm happy that we only spoke for maybe a month, and we found this impasse and it was done. The sooner you find these impasses is the less it'll hurt, the less it'll bother you, the easier, more amicable it will be. How long was Michael Knight with her before they? It was 2 years, you said? 2 years? Yeah. That's a long time to have this, which is already pre-established, to come back around and bite you in the ass. And it sucks. It really does suck. I'm glad that this chick told me, you know what? 2 hours away is too far. Then say, you know what? I'll try it. And then we try and whatever. And 6, 7, 8 months, a year goes down the line. And she goes back to her original statement. You know what? I don't want to do this. It's too far. I promise. Why? Why go through all of that? Stick to your guns and move forward. So that's what I would say. Let's do final thoughts because this is actually a longer episode than I thought it would be. Anybody can go first.
Well,
anybody can go.
I said my piece already. Like like I said, there's a lot that goes into marriage and procreation that once men dive into it and the relation, that you can't get out of it. And then if the relationship didn't work out with the mother or the wife or whatever the case is, once it ends, it's always the involvement is always there. Apparently. But it's a scary thing to try and get back into something else and restart the ability for it to happen again. It's you wouldn't understand. Women out there wouldn't understand that because it doesn't happen to you. I can't say in like same-sex marriages because I really don't know how that works. Because you're both women or both men. I don't know who would get what, but regardless of the case, when it comes to monogamous relationships that deal with men and women, that is a very scary situation for most men, especially having gone through it. So if this ever happens to you, be a little bit more mindful and understanding if you really care about that person. If you don't care about the relationship and you just want to stick to your guns about what you want, then stop wasting time and move on because you're not going to get what you're looking for if that person is not willing to give it to you.
That is true.
And I am definitely one of those people that's not willing to give that to anybody else.
I definitely agree with Manny on that. And to also piggyback what he said, it's really it's okay, and also to piggyback what Jason said, it's okay for someone to say in the beginning when you're first in that phase of dating and talking to get to know the person, it's okay to say, I'm looking to get married or I'm not looking to get married because you have the preference or the option to pretty much dip and leave if you want, and that's fine. For the people who take that personally, grow some balls and please stop shunning people for their feelings or opinions about how they don't want to do certain things, especially when it comes to marriage. Some people have passionate feelings about it, others don't, and that's the beauty of us being so different as individuals, that we have these emotions and feelings that we can just
And like we have emotions and feelings that are not the same as others, and that's the best thing, in my opinion, about meeting people, about dating them. You know, it's only a hindrance if you're kind of forcing that knowledge. Like when someone forces religion down your throat. Not everybody wants to be religious. Not everybody wants to preach the word of God, Jesus, Allah. It's okay if you don't want to. It's okay if you feel like that's not your route that you want to go to. But don't shun them. Don't, you know, berate them or something like that, or make them feel less than what they are because they don't want to do or feel or believe anything that you particularly want to believe in and do and feel. So, for those who are in that situation, just be as honest as you can. If you don't feel comfortable, then just go. So,
Thank you.
wash your hands.
But,
I think
yes,
I can,
you've been doing paraphrasing all night. So by all
shorten
means.
Joe's rambling, and it was. I think, yeah, I think what he meant to say was,
This is the reason why I don't
if
fucking come back. You see this? This is the reason why.
if you have a strong belief,
Do the show. This is why I come back.
Oh God.
I'm over here getting pepper sprayed and tased at work, and these guys are laughing their asses
I
off.
think what his rambling was, if you have a strong belief,
Oh man.
hey, that's something that you chose to do, and I'm choosing to roast you. So his to paraphrase what Joe said is, if you believe strongly into something, um, it's okay to not have the same beliefs as somebody else, and if they don't agree with your beliefs,
Praise Allah.
then move on
So,
and stop trying to force them to
But I
believe what
totally
you
agree. I
want
mean,
to believe.
I've already made my piece when it comes
Point blank.
to impasses. I am not advocating being stubborn, but I am advocating your standards and your beliefs, and not compromising where it's not deserved or earned. I'm there is the phrase the benefit of the doubt or positivity, and I used to believe in that, but now I believe these things need to be earned. If you believe a certain way and somebody wants you to change it, they have to earn that ability in your life, for compromise. And if you don't feel like compromising, as long as you're willing to accept the consequences, and I'm a big proponent of consequences, as long as you're willing to accept the consequences, then stick to your guns. If not, then maybe consequence, maybe compromise. But as long as a person has earned it or deserves it, of course, everybody has their own, definition of what, what somebody needs to deserve or earn in their life, if anything at all. But self-preservation, your own ideals, very, very important. I'm a big advocate of being true to yourself. And if you're going to change who you are, change it for the right reasons, for the right person, with the right circumstance. Not just because I need. So that's about it. That's a wrap. This is an hour and a half episode. We're actually on a new platform called Riverside. So this is not Zoom. So if it looks weird or it's different or it's odd, understand that I'm actually trying to switch platforms. I'm looking for a more professional look as opposed to a regular video conference look. So we'll see what happens. Tell us what you think. LastNightGuys@yahoo.com. If you like the new interface, the new review, we're trying things out because this is how we do. Look forward to another Dr. Manny episode coming up next month. We have officially decided to make Dr. Manny episodes once a month. Please email us at... Dr. Manny has his own email. Dr. Manny?
Please send me your stories, emails, suggestions, letters, anything you want me to discuss or talk about or give you advice or information, because I don't do advice. I do information. Advice is something that I'm telling you from experience. that I would want, I would basically prefer you to do. Information is just knowledge that I, from my experience and giving you the information that you could just take from there.
Dear Dr. Manny.
Email it
and that's
at
what DR or
deardrmanny@yahoo.com.
DOCTOR. How'd you do it? So basically, so it's the exact title of the special, Dear Dr. Manny at yahoo.com. Send it stuff
at yahoo.com.
For those of you who love the idea, it's literally just hey.
Send nudes.
But so you guys know, like just like you guys said, those of you who can't stand the sound of my voice, this actually is a 99.9% audio extraordinaire of Dr. Manny himself. Sometimes you throw me a bone where I can talk, but other than that, it's all Manny giving you his full
undivided attention,
but unfiltered response to one of your correspondences. We've had 3 so far, and they've been great. They've been very great, and it's a very different content. It is more intimate. So I would say just check it out and have a good time. So I'm Jason. That's Joe and Manny, and we are the Last of the Nice Guys. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you contact us, et cetera, and so forth. And thank you for your time.
The Last of the Nice Guys. Follow, like, and subscribe on Twitter and Instagram at Last Nice Guys, Facebook.com/Last Nice Guys, or email lastoftheniceguys@yahoo.com.